Old school death metal heads from Finland. This time we go to Sweden to a band called Moondark. Not exactly the most death metallic names out there, but mind you, this one was there since the early 90s. 1993, Moondark entered the game, did a demo and vanished. Nothing really was happening until many years later. Almost 20 years later they came back. And this time, finally in 2024, that is when this album was released, they made finally their debut album. What is more fun even into this old game, getting these veterans back into the game, is that it actually features 3 members from the 90s. So it's almost like the original lineup doing old school death metal. And this really sounds like old school death metal in a very good sense of that. There is one younger member in the band, but the rest of it is, like mentioned, old school lineup. And this one is the Abysmal Womb. What you see here is non-glossy CD release. Very bare bone in a way, but proper booklet and all that stuff. Black and white. Definitely no AI art feeling from this cover and all. Everything seems like back in the days. What could go wrong? Fortunately, not too much. So here it is, Moondark from Sweden, Avesta Dalarna. And yeah, that's the story in all essence, captured in a very few words, to be honest. So 1993, only one demo happened, and I don't know honestly what happened to the band because it just vanished. I have a vague recollection that I heard the name back in the days, but I'm not really sure in hindsight, because why would I heard of a Moondark demo band from 1993 if nothing else was happening? Anyway, like I said, this band had resurfaced a lot later in 2010s, and then there was another demo, which I guess is very fitting for a band to come back. And pretty much that's the story. Another 9 years, and here we have the full album. So this one runs for about 46 minutes. So kind of a basic standard in that sense. 8 tracks, nothing out of ordinary. You have the longer tracks and you have the basic 4 or 5 minute tracks. And the style is old school death metal. Now, when this band sounds death metal old school way, it isn't retro in my opinion, but more like let's go where we were back in the days, meaning the 1990s kind of a death metal. That is not only shown through the production, because it's kind of having this not exactly muddy but nothing like super polished death metal thing, and it sounds like a very real thing. And mind you, there is a difference when bands which are new and all kind of want to go retro and, you know, to do the old school death metal revival. A lot of these bands in 2010s or 2020s, when they do old school death metal, they kind of sound different while they're trying to sound kind of a little bit muddy, rusty and all that stuff. Whereas Moondark's album is like almost like, wow, this is like a lost and found item from the 90s. It doesn't sound weak, or it doesn't sound like it's trying to copy or emulate the 1990s feeling. It's actually like sounding like 90s. It is almost like a magical. This is then accompanied with this rather basic, you know, black and white design with the cover, old school logo and all. Everything here feels genuine. And I don't say this because this band is old. I honestly feel that this kind of production is very fitting for this kind of stuff. Could it be better? Sure, but a lot better? I don't think so. Because when you want to sound like 1990s never went away, out of fashion or anything, this is how you do it. Now, talking about songwriting, which is obviously the key essence, and nothing else really here matters. Not the covers, not the old members or anything like that, if it wasn't for that. And this is old school also. A lot of these songs here, in fact, sound like old Paul Thrower. I'm talking about roughly the War Master era. Surely some more melodic parts, which separates this from 2 early Paul Thrower albums, but also that kind of early 90s feeling with the songwriting. Some riffs are just heavy and simplistic, even almost like, hey, I'm gonna just do my very first death metal recording. So kind of a very basic, stripped down, bare bone and all, but also the stuff that I grew up with already in the 90s. So there's no like gimmick thing going on. There are no extracurricular activities. I mean, no female vocals, no keyboards, not so weird avant-garde things. Just let's go do basic death metal, and it's fine ways done here. And when I get those Bolt Thrower feelings, it's not like they're copying that, but it's more like, hey, we grew up the same streets, basically, that kind of a thing. And that really fits the game here. Now, certain parts could definitely be more catchier, but a lot of these melodies are just outright good. So does it pale in comparison with, to Bolt Thrower? Definitely, but that's because Bolt Thrower is now basically my second favorite death metal band of all time, so it's hard to beat them in their own game, obviously. But does it a good job, to accompany them in the way that the old stuff was going on? Definitely. So not only is this for Bolt Thrower fans or the fans of the given era, but in general old school death metal fans who wanted genuine, natural, true ways, not sounding like retroact, but the real thing. And I can say nothing but, recommend this to old school death metalists. I'm not gonna say this is some of the best albums for year 2024, but a lot better than a lot of those old school revival death metal acts, which are not that good. So this is sounding way better than a lot of acts right there. So if you are one of them, liking old school death metal and growing up with them, check out Moondark, and let's hope they are back. Now they have this newer vocalist who was already in the band for like 10 years ago, but since nothing else happened, it's still the new guy in the block, as well as the new bass player. But proper growly vocals accompanying these songs and all. Let's hope that these guys will be now back for real and release more material. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing them live. Already stoked about this band, so give it a go. Been out since late 2024, should be out still, so go give it a go. And links are provided in the description box. What are you waiting for? Just do it.